Hey guys, welcome to my channel where we talk all things real estate. Today's topic is first-time home buyers and what the home buying process looks like. So this is a question that we get asked all the time. So I'm making this video to hopefully clarify some questions and to make the process seem less overwhelming. So first things first, you want to make sure that you save. Super important. Without money, you can't buy a house. So you have to make sure that you start preparing for this years in advance because you need to make saving a part of your budget. So every month you need to know how much you're going to put aside and how much money you want to have saved up. You have to be able to save your money before you can even start thinking about owning a house. You want to have to save for your down payment as well as closing costs. So you don't want to just save for the down payment and then be completely surprised when you have all these other fees that you have to pay. So some of your closing costs is what we call them, will include your lawyer fees. Then you have to prepare for the home inspection, which depending on the home inspector and the size of the house, anywhere between $250 and $500 on average. And if you are buying a condo, you do have to pay for a condo document reviewer, which also costs about the $250 to $350. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually use your RRSPs to pay for your down payment. So if you're a first-time home buyer, you can pull out up to $35,000 tax-free. So the next step here is absolutely crucial before you start shopping for homes. So without a mortgage pre-approval, there's no point in going out. Most realtors don't even like to take you out on showings because you don't know what you're approved for. So you could think one thing and then it turns out that you're actually, way less or way more than that. So go get a pre-approval. They are free. They don't hit your credit and it gives you the number that you should be shopping for. Now, when it comes to mortgages, you do have a few options. So you have a bank or you have a mortgage broker. Now, the way I like to explain it to my clients is that the bank has one product. They check their own bank. Whereas if you go to a mortgage broker, they have access to 30 different lenders, so 30 products, which gives you a higher chance of finding a lender that will approve you for a mortgage. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, do I go to a bank, do I go to a broker? Once you have a realtor, they will usually have a preferred partner that they like to work with that they can refer you to. So it ensures a much smoother transaction if your real estate agent and your mortgage broker are collaborating on your behalf. When it comes to down payments, anything up to $500,000, you only need 5% down. Once you start looking at houses over the $500,000 mark, you will need 5% for the first $500,000 and 10% on anything over $500,000 up to $1 million. Once you hit $1 million, you do need at least 20% down. But if you are putting less than 20% down, you do have to pay CMHC, which is the mortgage insurance that protects the lender in case you default on your mortgage. So once you're pre-approved, your mortgage broker has given the go-ahead, told you what your number is, this is where the fun begins. So your next steps would be finding a realtor. So the first thing you want to do is find a realtor who can help you navigate the actual home buying process. You can interview as many realtors as you want. Social media is a good place to start looking, see who you vibe with. It's definitely important to have a realtor that you have a lot in common with. It'll just make the transaction that much easier. So once you have a realtor, the next thing that your realtor is going to get you to do is pick your locations. So where is your ideal place to live and what kind of home are you looking for? Are you looking for a single family, a condo? Give your realtor a list of your must-haves or your non-negotiables. So those are the things that you absolutely, no matter what, must have in your home. Your realtor will set you up on a search and you'll get properties sent to you. You can also look yourself for some properties. Once you have some that you want to go look at, your realtor will filter through them, make sure there's nothing super concerning in any of them before you go and take a look. So when you're out looking at homes, your realtor should be looking at any deficiencies, any red flags, while you're looking at things like, oh, the kitchen, oh, the flooring, oh, the view, all that stuff is great. But your realtor is there to make sure that you don't buy anything that's faulty. Okay, so let's say you found a house, it's in a great location, your realtor can't find anything wrong with it, and you're like, okay, this is the one. What do I do now? So your realtor will pull comps in the area, so they will pull the solds in that neighborhood over the last 30, 60, 90 days, depending on how much action there has been, and they will pull the comps for you. So especially in a market like that we have going on right now in Calgary, a lot of realtors on the listing side will test the market, meaning that they will list their house a little bit higher just to see how the market responds. So not always is the price that the house is at the price that it is for fair market value. So your realtor will pull the comps and you'll go in with a fair price depending on the market comparables, the condition of the home, anything inclusions or exclusions that you want thrown in there. So then writing an offer, you will put down your conditions. So usually financing and home inspection are two that are usually always on there. So financing, you want to make sure that you actually get approved. Your pre-approval is half the battle. So if you know that you've been pre-approved and this house is underneath that price, you should be good to go. And the second thing is a home inspection. So most people do want a home inspection because there are some things that we can't see, right? So a home inspection is a really thorough inspection of the home from the roof all the way down to the basement. So if you're buying a condo, there will also be a condo document review condition, which just gets a lawyer or a condo document reviewer to review the documents, make sure there's nothing in there that should be of concern to the new buyer. When you're writing your offer, you will also have to put down how much of a deposit you are going to give with the offer. So the actual down payment you don't pay for until the week of closing, but with the offer you do need to submit a deposit, and that is usually paid within 2 days of the accepted offer. And this just shows the seller how serious you are about buying their home. So there's really no rule in how much a deposit should be, but anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 for an average $400,000 or $500,000 home is totally reasonable. Obviously, the higher the price, the more the deposit should be. And what this deposit is if you were to walk away from the deal once conditions were waived, the seller is then entitled to that money. So the higher the deposit, the more serious you seem to the seller. All right, so good news, they have accepted your offer. Now what? So you usually have 2 weeks, usually 2 weeks for the condition period. So that gives you 2 weeks to get your financing in order, to get the home inspection, make sure everything is okay with the house before you waive your conditions. So between the firm deal and the possession, there's really not much that you need to do. Everything is done between your lawyer and your mortgage broker. They will collaborate during that time to make sure that all the proper documents are being transferred between the two of them to ensure that the closing goes really smoothly. So the week before possession is when you will pay your fees. So at the lawyers, you will pay your down payment, you will pay any property tax, any sort of extra fees like that, your legal fees. Other fees to consider are moving costs, so moving truck, or if you're hiring movers, home insurance, pizza and beer for your buddies if you're getting them to help you move, things like that. Now, before possession day, you will have a pre-possession walkthrough. So you'll want to make sure that your realtor does add a term into the offer to purchase, stating that you and your realtor will have access to the home 24 hours before possession to make sure that the home is in the same condition as when you last viewed it. Now, we recommend doing the pre-possession walkthrough during business hours. That way lawyers are still open in case anything were to happen, that you can reach out to the lawyers and tell them to hold back some money because of such and such issues. So you want to make sure that all the appliances are still there. Any inclusions or exclusions that you've written in the contract, you want to make sure that everything in the home is the way that you are supposed to receive it, take possession of it tomorrow. All right, so everything looks great at the pre-possession walkthrough. Carpets have been cleaned, home is clean, anything that's supposed to be there is still there. So we give the lawyers the go-ahead, everything is a-okay for possession to proceed the next day. So possession day, what does that look like? So possession usually happens around noon, though no promises. Sometimes there's a holdup and things can get pushed back. So one tip is not to book movers for 10 a.m., expecting them to be ready to move into the new house at noon, because that is not always the case. So the day of possession, once the buyer lawyers have released the funds to the seller lawyer, then we will get the call saying, okay, keys are releasable. So once we get the call that keys are releasable, you will meet your realtor at the home, and the realtor will give you the keys. So you'll get the key from the lockbox. All the other keys will be inside the home waiting for you. And be prepared for a photo, because most realtors love to document the big day, your possession day. So once you get the keys, the home from there is all yours. So that pretty much sums up the home buying process. It definitely seems a little bit overwhelming, but I promise you, once it gets broken down, and if you have a really good supportive realtor, mortgage broker, lawyer, a really good team of professionals behind you, they will make the transaction as seamless as possible. Yeah, so if you guys still have any questions, please comment below or send me a message. You can find me on Instagram. I would love to help you answer any questions or get you into a new house.